Your Kansas adventures start with Kansas tourism. I'm your host, Colby. Join me every week as I take you on the road and to the stars. Welcome back to On the Road and to the Stars. Last week, Stephen, JB, and I visited 3 of the 6 fried chicken houses in Crawford County. While the restaurants share a common history and many of the same traditions, each one brought something unique to the table. Our first stop this week is Girard's Chicken Dinners in Mulberry. When locals found out what we were doing as we were out filming, this was the restaurant that came up again and again. It's clearly a community favorite. The restaurant traces its roots back to the 1940s when the Girard family transformed a farm and nearby tavern into a destination for fried chicken. Today, their daughter Meg continues the family tradition. The atmosphere immediately feels comfortable and welcoming, a place where generations have gathered around the same tables. Alongside the traditional sides, we added green beans, which turned out to be one of the best decisions. Girard's also uses a cracker meal breading like Bartow's, creating a different texture than some of the other chicken houses, while still delivering tender, juicy chicken. Next, we're headed to Pittsburg and Pickler's Chicken Annie's. This restaurant was founded by Anthony, the grandson of the original Chicken Annie. His family helped him launch what became another branch of the Crawford County fried chicken family tree. While the recipes trace back to Annie's original, Pickler's has developed its own identity over the years. The atmosphere is warm and inviting, and the classic family-style meal includes many of the traditional sides for Crawford County fried chicken. As for the chicken itself, this one ended up being a favorite for all 3 of us. The coating struck a great balance between crunch and flavor, paired with exceptionally tender chicken. Our final stop takes us to Chicken Annie's Girard. The family connections continue here. Chicken Annie's daughter Luella purchased an existing fried chicken restaurant and carried on the tradition. Today, the current owners are still connected to the family behind Chicken Annie's original. The moment you walk in, it's impossible not to notice the thousands of chicken decorations. Add in the giant neon sign above the kitchen and the steady buzz of conversation, and the restaurant has an energy all its own. So by this point, we've eaten a lot of fried chicken, but every stop somehow managed to feel different. Chicken Annie's Girard delivered another excellent version, with flavors and textures that felt familiar while still standing on their own. Definitely in my top 3 favorites. If you're visiting, be sure to stay in Girard. It's a charming town with a walkable downtown square, local shops, great restaurants, and plenty of small town character. During a previous visit, I enjoyed dinner at Bushel and a Peck, breakfast at Eastside Cafe, coffee from C4 Coffee House, and an overnight stay in the downtown loft, which was cozy and a perfect home base while visiting the area. After 6 restaurants, countless pieces of fried chicken, and more German potato salad than I care to admit, one thing became clear. Crawford County's fried chicken reputation is well-deserved. To see Stephen and JB's complete fried chicken guide, including ratings, notes, and even more history, be sure to follow Steve and Kimmy on social media. And as always, visit travelchaos.com for more Kansas travel inspiration.